All right, sorry about that.
So you asked me like if I had a game plan against Balrog, and I know I know certain things in the matchup like low forward blows up a lot of his dash punches at certain ranges because of the startup, like the lunge forward before it's actually active. Low forward blows a lot of it up.
Yeah.
Um, I know you got to be wary about when you throw your fireballs and all that, but like I guess I really don't have like 100% like against other characters I face more frequently or people like in the actual like local scene that I play. That you start getting a feel for. So I don't know if I like I play a Cody, I play an Ibuki and all that, but I don't know if I actually.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm just so you know, I'm starting on my Street Fighter, so I could share play and I could, you could watch my screen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So just give me a second while the fucking Street Fighter 5 loads up. But
That's fine. And
I
there
hear
you go,
what you're
tablet
saying,
and
but
shit.
what you need to do is develop a strategy against every character, whether or not you play against that character or not. You need a strategy because I'll give you a perfect example, dude. 2016 Capcom Cup, the biggest mistake that I ever fucking did, bro, was that I never practiced against Fang in season one. There was no need to practice against Fang. I never played against any Fang ever, ever. I never played against Fang ever. My first match at Capcom Cup turned out to be Cien, and he was playing Fang at that time, and he was the best Fang. Now, you would think, why wouldn't you practice against Cien's Fang knowing that you're going to play him at Capcom Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my answer to that is, I went into 2016 Capcom Cup thinking I would fight against Momochi. Because that's what the brackets were. Up until, I think, 2 or 3 days prior to Capcom Cup, CCL announces that he's unable to go to Capcom Cup anymore. So the brackets completely changed. And I got Cien first round. And I got washed. I somehow won a game, but I got washed.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest mistake that I did in 2016 was that I didn't have a strategy against every single character. And because of that, I ended up paying the price at the highest, most pressure-filled situation of Capcom Cup. You know, imagine that being the first time that you play against the character in a fighting game, and imagine it being Cien, the fucking diabolical genius.
Yeah.
And tell me if you wouldn't be nervous, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. All that money on the line and shit. Hell yeah.
That is so fucking crucial if you're gonna go to tournaments. You have to have a strategy against every single character. A deep one. Even if you haven't played against the character, you're smart enough to understand how what you can do is watch matchups of your character against that character.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take notes about what the best player with your character is doing against the best Balrog player or whatever the fuck the character is.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to. Or you could also put the fucking deck in your hands and dissect the matchup yourself. Get what I'm saying? Go to the
Yeah.
lab and dissect it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Put the cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let you fucking make the decision. Let's see what you could come up with, you know?
Yeah. And that's probably
then
something I should
and
do.
then
Yeah.
and then you could watch other Ryu players play and see if they're doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes as a player you just gotta bet on yourself, bro. If I would have never gotten anywhere if I only tried to play like Momochi. I had to come up with my own theories. I had to trust my own fucking balls, you know?
Yeah. Like I get what you're saying. And it's like
I'm sharing
Zangief.
right now.
Okay. Like Zangief. Like more recently, I've been like messing with him a little bit, like trying to learn that because like. But the only thing I don't like is I feel like I have to take a lot of risks. But
With Zangief or playing against Zangief?
like playing against him, my bad,
Yeah.
playing against him.
Yeah, you do have to
Like,
take risks. You have no choice.
but so like I'm trying to figure out what's worth the risk and what's not because there's certain instances where like so Zangief takes a throw and you get reset to that neutral and he always like not always but a lot of people like to crouch jab right after. Right after they take a throw after that break. So against some people in certain situations,
What's your
I'm-
CFN?
Easy Pizza Hands.
Go
I'm
ahead.
fucking.
You
I'm
tech
heavy.
the
I'm
throw.
heavy DP. Heavy. I take the throw and I'm a heavy DP that shit
Oh,
right
that's
after.
a
'cause if
fucking. That's a horrible decision.
okay. Now,
That's
see, now that's what I'm
that's
saying.
some shit
like,
I would hear from an Alex player, bro. What are you talking about?
It's
That
like
would you
I
take
hate-
that risk for 250 grand, knowing that
Dude,
one
okay.
heavy
Okay.
SPD
And
will
that's
literally
why-
fuck your life?
And that's why I want to have these talks because
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
You
what
only
exactly-
you only take a risk like that. Only take a risk like that if you are in lead of matches and you are fucking confident that this motherfucker is about to literally press a button. You have to be 100% confident, and you would only do something like that as if like you're fucking 2-0 lead and you're in your third match in the first round, and fuck it, you might lose a round, but it's still data. You know what I'm saying? But that's like a no.
Yeah, like
decision.
I like. Okay, I only do it when this dude's tech like 4 throws and he crouch jabbed after every single one, and like sometimes I'm just like okay, bad decision, but in my head I'm like, okay, Zangief's got like 400 life, 300 life. He's got V trigger. He wants that activation. Right after a tech throw, I know he's gonna do something. I got super stock. I'm a fucking DP into super his ass and put him to sleep right there. And more often than not, the idiots fucking fall for it. But so that's something. All right, that's fine. That's fine. See, that's what I wanted to like. What
you
risk
could keep that in mind. See, what you're doing right there though is like, yeah, I like the way you're thinking, where you're thinking about what would a Zangief player want in that situation, and that's a good thing to think about. That's how you have to break down matchups for sure. But against a character like Zangief, bro, that's
Yeah,
just you might feel comfortable doing that online, but you have to understand, put yourself in the position of, oh, I just spent $2,000 to come to this tournament, and it's a 2 out of 3. I'm not like this next match might make it into top 8. Like, you gotta have a strategy for tournament play. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, tournament play requires big dick decisions for sure. But like in an ideal world, I'd be able to DP every single Guile Fireball because Ken's DP can go through Fireball, right? In an ideal world, I would be able to jump through I would just hold up forward because theoretically he might fucking just throw a Sonic Boom eventually. You know what I'm saying? Or just do jump forward dash, see if that mix-up could fuck with his eyes or something like that. In a world where all possibilities are possible, right? I could do anything that I fucking want to do. That would be okay, but in a tournament setting, you have to have, all right, this is a little too risky for tournament. How could I clean this up a little bit, and how can I maintain solid play, right? Rather than like big hot shit. You could do big hot shit in Street Fighter 4. It allowed you to style. It allowed you to be swag with it if you really felt confident with it. You know, not completely, but still, you had more leniency in that game. But this game is so fucking dangerous. It is cancerous for you to even. You can't even consider taking a risk without thinking you're about to die. You know, let a single risk. You're not ever comfortable taking a risk in this game because the possibility is you fucking die. You know, you can't have fun with it.
So
in tournament, you can't. You gotta limit your fun in tournament. You gotta have a playbook. You gotta have a fucking. This is the Super Bowl.
Okay, so in instances where I'm like, okay, maybe I'll heavy punch DP this motherfucker. Maybe I'll just go with a stand medium punch to try and confirm into something if I know he's doing that. Okay, so
or like for me, it's always like you gotta understand, like you can't have you're, and I don't think you're doing this, but you can't have a go-to thing every single time, like the same thing every single time. Your main game plan, the main thing that you need to work on when you start feeling confident in your offense and you understand this and that, is understanding patterns, reading your opponent's patterns and upping your reactions. If you are able to have godlike reactions and understand patterns, then you will fucking level up insane amount. Insane amount, you know?
Okay.
That's what you need to start working on to get to that next level, is how can I fucking, what can I do in order to see my opponent's patterns faster? Because I don't have time to like fucking I don't have time to stress, you know? So I gotta just be a mind reader.
And I think part of that is something like nerves. Like that first game, I was like, there was a shit ton. Like you said, the first round was sloppy.
Yeah.
Before you said that, I knew it already. Like I felt it. Like I was like, I was like nervous. I'm like, I need to clean this shit up. There was a ton of shit he was doing that I didn't pick up until game 2 when I started trying to like relax a little bit and trying to focus. And we could just get into this, and I'll like get into it as we go along, like what I saw and what I didn't see until it started going. All right. But anyway, we can start it up.
Are you sure? Because I like having this discussion as well.
Yeah, well,
This
it's
is
like,
important.
okay, he was opening with dash punch.
Right.
And
That's
right
why you
here,
started
I
doing
blocked
fierce
it.
punch.
I blocked it, and then I whiffed the light kick to punish.
Right.
Because I knew, in my head, I was like, I'm not in range to punish this, but I'm
Yeah.
going to press this, like, I'm checking it. But I knew I wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
And then in the second round, I think I blocked another one. And then in the first round of the second game, I did heavy kick, and he stuffed it. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, you knew it was coming. You pressed the button to prevent it, but I already knew in my head. I'm like, why did I press that button? I know that's the wrong.
You know
button.
how you test? You know how you said you knew that you would press this button to stuff it? You know how you test that thought? By actually seeing if he knows, by doing the same shit again. A lot of times you want to respect the opponent because you think, fuck, he knows the answer to this. But these motherfuckers are they're not smart, bro.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself in a higher mental state. Like, I'm smarter than my fucking I am more intelligent than my opponent. So I'm gonna see, is he really on that same level as me? Because if he is, then I have my answer to that. You get what I'm
because
saying?
he did it every round, and then I crush countered him, and then the next round he delayed it. So my heavy punch whiffed, and then he hit it with the dash punch.
Okay.
But then the round after that, he went right back to it.
Okay.
I heavy punched
So
again,
that's
and
just
I
an
stuffed his
early. That's a starter. That's a round starter gimmick. It's a round starter gimmick.
But learning the matchup would require learning all those different things, like what their options are, like they like to start with, and all that, right?
Right. Yes. I mean, essentially, yes. You're right. I'm just saying it's not like too big of a deal, or a round starter gimmick, you know?
Yeah.
Like for another example, Ken Guile, a round starter gimmick for Guile is he gonna throw fireball or not? And then my round starter gimmick is, am I gonna jump or not? Because if I jump and he doesn't and he flash kicks me, I already start off the round in a fucking loss of a life lead.
Life deficit and full screen, and
9 times out of 10, they're not gonna start off with a sonic boom because they know that the only way Ken is gonna fucking get some damage is if he jumps in on me in the start of the round. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you start breaking down the risk reward on that option, then you could see, like, if you were to press fierce punch and then he delays his dash punch, then technically you'd be doing well, I mean, I don't know. I guess the trade-off is not that bad. You eat a dash punch, but if you were to get him, you would get a stand fierce roundhouse. So you just got to work that detail out yourself. But there is something that I do want to show you. So let's get into that real quickly. Okay, like just from that first 3 moves, dash punch, crouch strong whiff, crouch roundhouse, that could get punished. In the first 2 seconds, this guy nutted 3 times. So that means that this should automatically be in your head that my opponent is a nut. So if my opponent, so like what my opponent showed me in the first 2 seconds is that he's a nut. And if my theory is correct that he's a nut, then I'm going to follow my strategy on how to fight against a nut. And then watch my theory come to play. Watch my read come to play. You understand? Like,
yeah. So but when you're saying how to fight a nut, you mean like
you should have a specific strategy, even against Balrog. Like, if the Balrog player is happy with this, you know, he's this type of Balrog.
I was just mean, you mean it more specific though, and not general.
No,
like,
both.
Okay.
Both, because most nuts will usually have the same type of habits. So their play style is always going to be risky. Almost always, 99% of the time, it will be risky. So you, as the smarter player, will be thinking, well, I know that as a player, he will be taking risks. Now let me just break down what type of risks he's willing to take and the amount of times he's willing to take it. And what I have to do in order to avoid from getting hit by it. Because this motherfucker won round 2 because he command grabbed you twice. This is why this game is fucking trash. Because he's going to just command grab you twice like that and win. It's that stupid. But anyway, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm just writing, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. So Bam, easy damage. That sweep. I'm not gonna get right into it. See, that was good. Like, look at that. I just want to show, like, another confirmation that he's a nut. Dash back, dash forward immediately. All right, bro. You just got clipped, and you're gonna take another risk like that? Cool. I'm willing to just slow it down then. I'm willing to wait for you to. Are you gonna open yourself up again? How many more times? What kind of discipline do you have? The mistake was that fireball right there. Because you know he's gonna V-skill it. So why not take another dash forward? And if he dash punches, you can punish it. Position
and
yourself
I guess
better.
The setup after the heavy kick donkey kick is fireball dash, and you're like, if he jumps, guaranteed DP. If he blocks it, you're plus, so you can just sit there and wait.
Yeah.
But that's why after I dash forward, I think I blocked immediately just in case. I think the punch probably still would have hit me, but I didn't think about it until I was already mid dash. Like, oh, he can V-skill this.
Oh, but even check this out. Like, okay, now this is where you get character specific shit. You know that Balrog can V-skill it. So throw the fireball. And what's your plan afterwards? Because I don't know the frame data on this, but you should study the frame data. But it looks like, I mean, he didn't press his button first, but you get what I'm saying? Like, after he V-skills it, what's he most likely to do? What button is he most likely to press? What could I press in order to fucking fuck with his head a little bit? Am I negative one in this situation? If I'm negative one, does he know I'm negative one? Does he press a button immediately? If he didn't press a button in the first 0.3 microseconds, then I'm gonna press my standing short and then dash right afterwards and grab him. You get what I'm saying? If I'm negative one and after that dash, because he's going to V-skill it, I think that he's going to V-skill it. If I'm negative one after my dash, why don't I take a tiny step back and then walk forward fierce or something? You know what I'm saying? And this is just another example of this crouching strong where you just delayed it. But you get like, it's like a little bit more like thought, you know? It's a little bit more thought.
And so execute. If I know he's going to V-skill it, maybe I could like, it's not
you're not putting yourself in a situation that you haven't like thought of, you know, like deeply
study that I know. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna dash forward and block, and if he V-skill punches, I know I can punish, or I know
but if he just does V-skill, right, but if he
then I know, if he does empty V-skill, maybe he's negative to the point where I can press a button and it's still my turn, but just know my options, so I'm not just like gonna stop and block and give up my turn when it's my turn when I didn't have to.
Right, it has to look like the replay button on the training mode. You know, the shortcut replay where you set play and record, and then the Balrog player does this XYZ, or the opponent character does XYZ, and then you're just trying to react to it every single time. If you fuck up on the reaction, you hit the shortcut restart button, and then he does it again immediately. You know, it has to look like another robotic simulation of that. It's just another simulation of that. You're looking at the same exact thing that you've looked at 1,000 times over. So when you see it, it's not like you already know.
Yeah, because this is definitely a situation that I run into a lot in general. So I guess this is probably like the heavy kick donkey, throwing a fireball and then dashing. So this is probably something that I should.
Remember how I said like pattern recognition and reaction speed?
Mm-hmm.
Pattern recognition. The first 3 seconds where this guy proved to me that he was a nut, right? Reaction speed, being ready for the thing that he just did right here. But another version of reaction speed is knowing that this guy's a nut. The pattern recognition tells you that he's a nut. The pattern recognition of him whiffing buttons and pressing buttons at an incorrect space tells you that he's a nut and is unable to play in the neutral well, right? So the reaction speed comes in here, where as soon as you press a button, you're standing right outside of that range. Bop, that's a whiff punish sweep. That's you reacting to the read of him being a nut. That's you reacting to the pattern of him being a nut. Because look, another whiff sweep, and then what does he do? He presses a crouching strong. Your sweep whiffed. What made you think that your crouching strong is going to hit? Another indicator of him being a nut.
Yeah, he's just hoping I'm going to like press something late after the whiff and he can catch it or something like that.
And this was the problem. That fireball that you threw, like, that was a risky fireball because that's in the range where he's gonna react to this and punish you. You know. I mean, you got the dash punch, but it would have been better for you to just hold down block. You don't have to always do something in neutral. You have the life lead. This character can go past your fireball with 2 fucking buttons. He doesn't have to think about going through a fireball. You're not playing a fireball game against this guy. That fireball has to come in at the most clutch type situations, not in neutral where you're gonna take unnecessary damage. This is a situation where your character doesn't have really tools to fucking deal with this, so you gotta walk block where he's already fucked up plenty of times and you've gotten him down to 45% life, or I should say, 60% life. He's at 60% life right now in the first 10 seconds because he just took that many risks. So you don't have to take an unnecessary risk like a fireball, you know, or a jump. You just gotta walk him down. Because the closer you walk him down, the more buttons he's gonna whiff, or he's gonna dash punch, or he's gonna jump. Why? Because he can't press a button against you. If your reactions are up to par, and you already have the download that he's whiffing shit against you, he's gonna feel uncomfortable about whiffing something. So what happens then? He probably stops pressing buttons, which allows you to walk up and throw him. What happens then? He probably stops pressing buttons and walks back, allowing you to push him to the corner. Or he stops pressing buttons, walks back, dash punch, allowing you to punish him. You get what I'm saying? Or he has to jump. It's simple. You just gotta like use the clock as like how long until you crack. I don't have to take the risk against this guy. He's not making me scared in the neutral for me to take a risk. I'm gonna take a risk in the neutral when I'm scared.
Yeah, and that's definitely something I gotta research these matchups more, so I'm not scared just because of like who the character is and knowing that they're like a bad matchup.
And remember, everything that I'm saying is not absolute, you know? It's not indefinite. Like it will always be dependent on the player. So when I say that, I'm taking risks in neutral because I'm scared, not all the time. Like fuck, so I'm confident as fuck when I take a risk in neutral as a Ken player. I develop that confidence. I have to develop confidence. But there's, you know, it's just in this game, it is scary to take a risk in general. So I just don't want you to think that like, I should never take a risk in neutral, bro. I want you to freestyle. I want you to fucking express yourself. I just want you to be smart about it.
Yeah, I learned that. Yeah, definitely. Like I was talking to the guy that takes risks occasionally. You can't just sit there.
Look at that. Like such a bad spacing right there. This part in the neutral has been so free. You know, I'm not saying that you could like, what should I say? Whiff punish that necessarily because crouching strong is very hard, but what you can do is knowing that the distance is a little too far, meaning you would have a hard time whiff punishing it.
Just walk up and walk and block?
Or you could be even dirtier and dash up and throw him.
Okay, like like dashing in behind the recovery.
Because you know this motherfucker is gonna whiff a button, and rather than trying to whiff punish it, dash up and throw him. You know? That's just another option of reaction. Another example of you having fast reaction, which was, you know, grown, like watered from the initial foundation of pattern recognition of this guy just fucking whiffing and being a nut, you know? Look at that shit. I guarantee you he did not react to that.
No, I think it probably happened almost simultaneously.
It's happened simultaneously, yeah. Now look at how much damage it took, though. Remember why I said don't take that risk in neutral?
Yeah.
This is literally the best example of that.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it. If I block that overhead, it's just another 150, 180 damage and Oki again.
Like you wanted to throw one EX fireball. God forbid a fucking Ryu player wants to throw an EX fireball in a Street Fighter game. Look at this shit. You got like that little what we just got done talking about was like it's not worth it.
And that's something that I'm really like struggling with. Like I gotta do better with. I remember like I think about
before you continue, pause.
Okay.
It's also not worth it because look at where your stun bar was. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Mom. Yeah, look at where your stun bar was. If you already know that if my stun bar is like this and this next shit is gonna fuck my life up, maybe I shouldn't do it. But you were saying that you were thinking about it a lot.
Okay, so if you want to pause it, right? But so there's
Robert,
this last time. It wasn't the last time
game.
we did this. It wasn't last time we did this. Oh, this is the one that I came back on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't the last time. It was a while back actually. But I remember it was this same type of thing, and I remember I was playing this guy, and it might have been like when I played Myers G or something. I don't remember who it was, but anyway, you were like life lead. You just said life lead. And then I threw a fireball.
Yeah.
And then I got jumped in on.
Yeah.
And then you were like, bro, life lead.
I
and
just said it.
Like, and then like, and that pissed me off so much because I was like I had a life lead, and it was a big one, and they got like full jump in 2 bars,
Right.
and all of a sudden we're both at like 50% life or 45% life.
No, he killed you. You had an insane life lead.
Yeah, he killed me. Yes, yeah, he fucking killed me. And
He made you guess wrong once and you died.
So I remember that shit to this day. Because whenever I throw a fucking, like when I'm playing, I try to tell myself life lead, so I don't throw the fireball.
Yeah.
But then oh man, it's so fucking like everything up until this point has been, not everything, but a lot of Ryu is you have to throw the fireball.
Right.
You cannot play Ryu because his buttons are shit. You have to throw the fireball.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, but then I get life lead, so I don't throw the fireball. But then now I gotta let them like walk all over me to an extent until I get another opening.
Yes, you do have to let them. You have no choice. You're playing Ryu. Bam. That's where the fucking light bulb should spark. You're playing low tier. Or at least in this season is fucking decent now, but against top tier, there are gonna be situations where, yeah, bro, you cannot, like, you would be an idiot to take your turn there. It's like playing chess against somebody, and like he gets 2 turns and you get 1 turn. Like, you're not gonna win.
So in a situation like that, yeah. So in a situation like that, instead of throwing the fireball, would it be like, what would my option, like my light kick's pretty decent. Would I just want to maybe throw some light kick buffers out there in case they like try to dash in on me, and wait for a jump? Do I just like walk and block and try to close the distance?
I wouldn't know. I would say that like in situations like that, you know, you're scared to get next to them, but you don't want to put yourself in the corner. So so you start walking backwards, and then there's a certain point where you're like, oh shit, I'm getting pushed in the corner. Yeah. So like, I gotta start like either dashing, or I'm gonna fucking press light buttons now, or you know, now I'm gonna start just holding down block and seeing what he does. You know, I mean, I'm a big fan of why not just hold down back and see what he's gonna do. You know, if he jumps, you win. If he dashes, I mean, you could win with a light button, but like if you're playing against a character that has a neutral move that, you know, fucking like EX tackle or something like that, I mean, it's just something you gotta hold. And if that's the case, you just gotta block and wait for him to activate and put yourself. That's why the neutral is so important.
Yeah,
that's why the neutral is so important, but it's so stupid.
And that's why I wanted to ask you, because they're not the same character, but they're very like Ryu and Ken are very similar.
Of course.
That's why I was like,
well, I mean, that's what I do.
Experience. So you're like, maybe I'm just gonna. I got life lead. I'm a down back, and I'm gonna see how they try to get in.
Yes, but I can tell you that this is a more recent change that I've done in my gameplay, where I'm more willing to hold down back longer. But I can tell you from beforehand, and even like in past tournaments and stuff, I'm not really like that. I'm kind of antsy. I get nervous because I start thinking about what if I fucking get touched. So I'll start pressing light buttons or something like that, because light buttons are usually the best buttons to press in that situation. Lights and mediums, never heavies, and just waiting for them to jump, because 9 times out of 10, if you press a medium button and they jump, you still have time to anti-air it. So, and not just any medium button, like probably my crouch strong or my stand strong, a button that goes kind of far and kind of is random, you know?
Yeah,
I try to avoid dashing in that situation.
And that's what I try to do, but I had the thought process in this match. I was like, usually, sometimes when I got life lead and I got a decent amount of space, I'm whiffing that crouch strong into like EX donkey kick, light kick, Tatsuoki. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, this guy's got a dash punch, and he can just not full screen, maybe like half screen whiff punish me for throwing it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really want to just throw it out like I normally would.
Yeah.
But okay, so you can either down back.
Lights standing short is really good. Yeah. Standing jab. That's really good with Ryu to like and shit, you know.
So you're either whiffing lights and you know, reacting to DP or whatever, and maybe your light connects and you chain into a combo if they dash.
And also remember that like if they get in range of your low forward, I mean, if they walk forward, you can low forward them, and low forward's a great button for Ryu.
Yeah,
You know, it goes pretty
season.
far. They have to respect low forward.
Yeah, and that's definitely another button
I think
gotta use more,
I think
so.
you need to use more low forward and neutral, bro. I think you need to like the
Yeah.
problem with Street Fighter V Ryu is that he doesn't really teach you how to play Ryu. You get what I'm saying? You want to learn how to play Ryu, you play Street Fighter 2 Ryu and Street Fighter 4 Ryu. Those Ryus will play fucking sick Ryu, low forward fireball game Ryu. But this Ryu cannot play like Ryu because fireballs don't really do anything, and his low forward is kind of shit.
Yeah, I
compared
didn't
to
think
previous
about it until you.
iterations.
I didn't think
But-
about it until you said it right now. But
Yeah.
I don't think I threw like low forward at all.
Yeah.
Other than like in a block. Streak.
Never did you throw a low forward fireball to clip him. You don't understand. You got to develop a low forward fireball game, bro. As a Ryu player, like maybe not in this game. I would advise you to go to Street Fighter 2 and play those games a little bit for you to understand how to like. The low forward fireball game is essential to this character, bro. It's like taking away Ken's DP. You know, you can't. It's part of who he is. Ryu has fireball. Ryu has Tatsu. Ryu has uppercut, but Ryu also has low forward fireball. You know, that's a move set for Ryu.
Yeah, since I taught myself how to play this game and I really didn't have much resources, I didn't like that was something that just got glossed over during my whole. And that's something I definitely like from time to time. I'm like, fuck, I gotta start throwing this shit. Like against certain characters, I'm more aware to do it. But Balrog, somebody I could do it more against, and somebody I probably should do it more against because it'll clip a lot of his shit, like his V skill, the startup and all that. But anyway, definitely gotta work on that. I'll write that down.
And not
You can
even
go
just low forward fireball, but just low forward checks too. You know, if you don't feel comfortable throwing the fireball, the low forward check, bro, it opens up your dash game. You gotta understand when you clip somebody's legs and you tell them stop moving, bitch. You dash up at them. Soon as that low forward clips, because they went from an offensive mindset of walking forward 9 times out of 10 in neutral.
Yeah,
and
and
stop
that's,
them.
And that's something that like I guess I like. So after forward throw, he gets meaty low forward. So I'll always low forward after forward throw.
Yeah.
And then if they block it, I got it. Like if I'm like, okay, they don't press buttons, so I'm gonna low forward dash, or if they do press buttons, I'm gonna low forward, wait like a tiny like frame, and then I'm gonna forward heavy punch to catch their button to try to stuff my dash. And I guess that's something I should be applying more to like the neutral and not just that one situation.
Right. Correct. Check it. You won the first round. This guy's a nut, bro. Jump. Whiff.
That's always his pattern too.
Did that look a little familiar to you? Yeah.
That's a sweep, crouch strong. That's what he's
Crouch
been doing.
strong, sweep. The first one was crouch strong, sweep. The second one was sweep, crouch strong. The third one was sweep, crouch strong. He likes those 2 buttons. You see the name pop up. It's like studying the player, bro. It's like studying the player. When you run into ranked matches, you see that name. I know how this guy plays. That's what I got to do in tournament. That's how you study somebody when you know that they're in your bracket.
Yeah, and I was doing that for a while.
But I mean, it's not as important, obviously, online. But I'm just saying, like, you could start developing those types of skills of, what does this guy like to do, and how is he different from that guy?
Because I was like, I guess it is still learning the matchup in a way. If you do that, I was just like, my whole thing. The reason why I hadn't done that as much is because I feel like there's this fucking Birdie player who's a fucking nut, and he beat me like 3 times, and I studied him, and he's never beaten me since. And he like one and done's me, does not like to run that shit back anymore. But I was like, in my head, I was like, am I learning the matchup, or am I specifically learning just how to beat this guy? So that's why I hadn't done it as much.
Okay, look, right here. What was the reason for you to want to do a neutral jump?
The reason why I had done a neutral jump was just it probably because it had worked before, and in general, this guy was just like there was a timing he had where he would like 1, 2, 3 dash punch.
Yeah. No, I understand. Balrog players be having that, but now in this game, they have a fucking stupid ass uppercut for some damn reason. You would always jump against Balrog. Street Fighter 4. Bam, right in your fucking nose, bro. That shit went through your head. That uppercut is is really good now in his game plan in the neutral to make you scared. But the thing is, you don't have to take the risk of the neutral by taking that neutral. Why not let him burn the bar? Let him burn the bar. If he wants to do EX dash punch, all right, fuck it. What could you do after that EX dash punch? But at least he burned the bar. But by you doing that unnecessary neutral,
just gave him free hit.
Yeah, free hit. And now he's feeling confident. Right next to you, baby. Took another throw. Bam. All that. Look at that. It's like a prophecy. You like, look at that. All that from the neutral jump. Now what you're thinking is, ooh, is he gonna dash up and command grab me again, or is he gonna EX dash punch me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, which one's
so
worse?
it's like the damage I took from the neutral jump wasn't just the uppercut. It's everything that came after.
Everything that comes after. It's the
sequence.
50-50. Every fucking 50-50 that this shit puts you in. Jesus, how much stun that shit did.
I think it does 400 or some shit raw.
Damn. All that, bro. You lost because of this neutral jump. You lost. You were at 90%. Guessed wrong. Guessed wrong. I mean, this is still part, like that 3 sequence, it brought you up to 70% stun. But this is still part of the, fuck up of why did I neutral jump?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because look at the situation that it put you in. A second later, he dashes. Oh, sorry, 2 seconds later, he dashes. This is still part of that sequence. Now you're even more in the corner, he's in front of you. And then bam. And then bam. You know, maybe you could have done actually jump Tatsu here to escape. Maybe. I think you have a pretty good jump Tatsu with Ryu. You could have for sure done that, but yeah, bro. That was all part of that sequence of what happened after you neutral jumped. And I wanted to go over this specifically because I told you there's no need to take the risk in neutral. There's literally no need. Right before that, this is what he does. He just takes the risk over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You have literally, bro, how much self-control do you have to just be like, just fucking wait. Just wait. You know? Just wait. Like, just hold down back.
And I guess that's something like neutral jumps a risk.
It is. And you had done a good neutral jump. Like, that's a good neutral jump right there. Why? Why? Because he doesn't have V-trigger yet. He's still developing that second bar. You know? This is a good enough neutral jump. Because you had bet that he has that timing. And you were right about that timing. But this is where, even though you have to read about the timing, it's just not, it's not smart for you to do it here. In tournament, this would have fucked you. You know, you had the read. You technically have the read of him being a nut and wanting to do things in neutral like that, but it's just not worth it. And, you know, sometimes you gotta hold back on it. You know.
Yeah, and just
hold back on it. Yeah, just hold back on it, and then use it later on when it's a more appropriate time.
Yeah, and that's I definitely know what you're talking about there. Like I don't know if those guys going to say like even if you know some guy like to throw a fireball situation, you don't immediately jump on it. You wait until it's like
again,
the game's
see,
on the line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like unnecessary risk. Nut. And then see right here, I would have been like, all right, bro, I'm going to literally just hold down block. Mm-hmm. And you're either going to come to me, because this is an ultimatum situation. You got to understand your ultimatum situation against every single character. This is an ultimatum situation where the only way he's going to kill you is if he does V-skill overhead, or if he walks up and walks all that ground and completely grabs you, or he does dash punch super. Right? What you want is for him to do what?
Dash punch super.
Because it'll waste his bar for the next round. You have 56 seconds in order for him to use dash punch super. If he uses dash punch super, you win the round. Technically, mentally. Because he's going into the next round already uncomfortable mentally because you have super bar. Right?
Yeah, and that's something I didn't even I
Even
didn't
if he
notice
has
that
the
at all
round,
during
that
the round,
next
and that's
round, that
something-
final round is important. So
Yeah,
put yourself
I didn't
in the
notice
best
he had
possible
super at all,
position.
so that's something I should have like picked up on and something I should have checked. Like
Yes.
immediately when I was at Pixel Health, I should have looked at my ways of death.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So when you have, especially bro, with that 56 seconds, let him walk up. Because look, think about it like this, bro. 56 seconds. If this guy's really not doing anything, then, I mean, if he's not going to use Dash Punch Super, and he hasn't used it, he might try to walk up and throw you, or he might try to V-skill you, or V-skill overhead you. And if you're literally just looking out for those two moves that you could lose to, and you're ready for them, that could easily be a low forward donkey kick. You know, one hit there, and then you activate your V trigger, right? And now
Yeah.
you're in V trigger, and he's a little closer to the corner. One touch is gonna get you the super KO, right? After low forward donkey kick, if you activate V trigger and you do like a low forward fireball super, that would kill.
Yeah.
Or get damn close to it or something, you know. But it's like it turns into an ultimatum situation where this is how I accept I'm going to lose, only by the dash punch super, or I want it to be by the dash punch super, and I have 56 seconds to do that. But around the 37th, 36th second of you being patient, you might start thinking, all right, maybe I might have a chance to win this round. So let me kind of position myself in a way where maybe I could, you know, do a low forward fireball, or you know, catch him walking up in the wrong distance, or whiff punish or something, right? That ultimatum in your head slowly starts turning into a what if I could win this round. And that's a dangerous thing to think about, but I will never tell you to not think about that when you can possibly, like, you know, win.
Yeah, I think I tried
know?
to like micro walk block and I got
Yeah.
caught doing that. But it made more sense, like you were saying, to just sit there and just wait.
Right.
And even if, because I was trying to put myself in a range to punish with dash punch,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize he had super and he would have he could have canceled it too. He could have chipped me out.
Right.
But yeah, so
There's no need to continue with this replay anymore. Because
Okay.
I can't even, like,